WWE Backlash is over, and it's safe to say that was one of the greatest PLEs we have seen in many, many years. Today we're going to run through the card, react to the results, react to the matches, and talk about how awesome it was. First things first, let's just acknowledge this and get this out of the way. That was the greatest crowd we have ever seen in a honestly, in a wrestling ring ever in history of wrestling. That was incredible. That's what happens when you have people who go to a show and give all their emotion and show all their emotion, pure joy and happiness from everybody in that crowd, all 11,000 or however many people were there. It was a beautiful thing. Every spot, every entrance, every wrestler, every finish, there was electricity throughout the match. It did not matter what was happening. Everybody there was happy to be there. It was a beautiful sight to see. The whole time I was smiling knowing how happy they were. Like, I felt that. That was electric. I was getting goosebumps the whole show. It was so wholesome and easily the greatest crowd ever. The international crowds are always amazing. America has some great crowds too, but the UK especially is something else. Shout out to everybody that was at the show. You guys helped make that show a million times better. I know everybody in that locker room appreciated it, but the fans, us, we appreciated it too. A beautiful thing. But anyways, let's get into the first match on the card. The Bloodline defeats Kevin Owens and Randy Orton in a street fight. So first things first, it was such a weird start to the show. They were squaring off in the ring. They go at each other. The bell doesn't ring. Security comes out, and I'm like, what is going on? Why is there security here? Nick Aldis comes out, a GM coming out on a pay-per-view to announce that we're going to make it a street fight. The crowd goes crazy. It completely changes the dynamic of the match. It adds some unpredictability, and they have a banger. So many great spots from everybody in that match. We got to see a very powerful Solo Sikoa. We got to see Randy Orton being ruthless. Kevin Owens, I feel like, was the MVP of that match. The spots that Kevin Owens was doing were crazy, were exciting. I would have loved to see more from Tama Tonga. I still don't know like what his finisher is or what he's really got in his bag. So I would love to see more from him. A street fight doesn't really show you a wrestler's arsenal sometimes, and I don't think it helped in this case, but I'm excited for Tama Tonga. Speaking of Tama Tonga, of course, his brother Tonga Loa debuted at the end of the match. Now, one thing, I don't know if you guys noticed, they actually mentioned Tonga Loa on the pre-show. I heard them say it and I'm like, wait, that was weird. I was like, that's crazy that they even mentioned that or acknowledged that, but they kind of just went past it. They just mentioned it real quick. I didn't think anything of it, and he was the one to come interrupt the match at the end and make his WWE debut. I was shocked. We all thought it was going to be Jacob Fatu or even Zilla, but Jacob Fatu, we've definitely been expecting more, and it wasn't. It was Tama Tonga's brother, Tonga Loa, who has an interesting rep outside of the WWE, so I'm very curious to see how he's matured and how they're going to use him now that he's here with this new gimmick, new persona. But I'll tell you what, the end of the match made the Bloodline look a bit stronger, and they win, obviously, by absolutely destroying RKO at the end, which was crazy. In my opinion, though, from start to finish, the hype throughout the match, the spots, the security thing, and the Nick Aldis coming out and all that good stuff, that was an all-time street fight, in my opinion. There might be some recency bias, but that was really, really cool. I was excited. The crowd, you have to account for the crowd in this match. The crowd matters. The crowd counts. The crowd was awesome. The spots were awesome. It was a great time overall. Great match. Also, after the fact, the new Bloodline, consisting of Solo and the brothers, walk past and face off with Jey Uso for a quick second, and that is leading to some serious drama down the road. Actually, might be sooner than later if we do get a draft trade during this week of WWE. We'll see about that. But anyways, great match. I'm happy it went that way. Next up on the card was the WWE Women's Title Triple Threat match, and that was also a banger, bro. I feel like every woman in that match delivered. Naomi has some great spots. Tiffany Stratton, of course, had some incredible spots. I feel like she did everything, and I was, for a second there, I'm like, you know, obviously we all want Tiffany to win, but we all want Bayley to stay the champion. It's a weird predicament, but for a second there, I'm like, yo, they might actually pull the trigger on Tiffany. She might win this thing because she was looking amazing. Her spots, her moves, her arsenal, her everything is awesome. I don't know, Tiffany's amazing. She did great in this match. Naomi, again, also had some great spots, some great sells. Bayley did a great job. The ending was a bit interesting. It ended on a roll-up, which you don't love to see in a championship match, let alone a triple threat, let alone a pay-per-view. But, you know, if you were watching the match from start to finish, there was a lot of close calls, a lot of roll-ups, a lot of reversals. So it kind of built that story, and it kind of works. Plus, it doesn't really hurt anyone's reputation there. Now, we didn't see Tiffany take the pin. We saw Naomi take the pin there. So that was obviously probably going to happen, unfortunately. But very interesting stuff. We did not see interference from Nia Jax, which I was kind of speculating might happen because she's a SmackDown superstar now. It's no DQ, but that didn't happen. Solid match overall. Very, very excited for Tiffany Tiffany's future, and I'm happy that Bayley got to defend her championship at least once successfully on a PLE. She definitely deserves it. I don't know how long she's gonna hold it for. At this point, I think that solidifies that Tiffany Stratton is gonna be the Money in the Bank winner. There's zero chance she doesn't win that. Like, I would put all the money I have in the world on that. She's gonna win it. She's gonna be awesome with it. It's gonna be great. As for Naomi, I don't know. She did great in this match. She's not gonna go for the tag team championships, I'll tell you that. So she's probably gonna get into some other feuds in the meantime, or maybe she's gonna keep coming at Bayley until she does maybe win. We'll see. Great match overall. I didn't love the ending, but I understand it. Next up, Damian Priest defeats Jey Uso for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. That was an interesting match. I could argue that was a bit predictable. It was still a good match. Let's just say this for a second. That was Jey Uso's greatest entrance of all time. I don't know if it'll ever be topped. And I'll say this, that was one of the elite entrances in WWE history. No recency bias. That crowd, the shots, Jay's outfit, the lights, it was crazy. Top tier stuff right there. Top tier. Very awesome stuff. And what a time to just pull the trigger on Jey Uso. Oh my gosh, bro. He is hotter than ever. Is anybody hotter than... He might be hotter than Cody Rhodes. I don't know. That might be crazy. That might be crazy. But Jey Uso was elite. Great performance from the both of them. Damian Priest, also a great champion. It sucks because I want him to be the champion too, but Jey Uso is too hot. You gotta use this momentum. The finish was interesting. The Judgment Day got involved to help Damian Priest secure the win. The crowd was not as pleased, obviously, as they would have been if Jey Uso won, but there was some turmoil, some very obvious turmoil. Damian Priest, I think for the first time ever, really put his hands on the Judgment Day, shoved JD McDonough, put his freaking hand on Finn Balor's face and pushed him away. Some wild stuff with the Judgment Day right now, and I don't know where that's gonna go, but I am excited to see. I feel like at some point they're probably gonna cost him the championship, then Damian Priest and Finn are gonna have a 1v1, and we're gonna get a nice story there. Good stuff. Solid match. I wish it went differently, but I guess I understand. Yeah, I would have wanted Jey to win. That was my pick. I really truly thought that all day in my body, in my soul, I felt that Jey was gonna win, and he couldn't, and that was kind of rough. All good. We love Damian Priest. We love Jey Uso. Moving on, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. We all knew that was going to happen. No matter what, the Kabuki Warriors are obviously great. I really enjoy their gimmick. I really enjoy their squad and all that good stuff. But Jade and Bianca, they have the potential to be the greatest women's tag team champions in WWE history. And what a start for Jade Cargill in the WWE to start it out like that. So I would expect them to hold on to those championships for a long time. The only thing that could stop that is a betrayal, or if somebody else gets the pin, or an injury. I mean, nobody's beating them. They are two of the strongest, best women in wrestling right now, and I don't know. That's a great tag team. Luckily, the SmackDown division is solid. The women's tag division is good over there, so they'll have some competition. There'll be some good matches. There'll be some good storylines, but at the end of the day, they are awesome, and I don't know what's going to happen for the rest of the roster for the tag teams. I don't know what chance they're going to have, but Jade and Bianca are going to be on top for quite a while, and I think it's an awesome thing. I think they're a great tag team. They work well together. Their gimmicks are strong. Jade showed out. I think she proved a lot of people wrong. She got a little bit more time because everyone was saying, like, give her more minutes. She got more minutes. It was a cool thing. Bianca was obviously great. Kabuki Warriors, very respectable. Obviously, we all respect Asuka and Kairi Sane. They did a good job. They do a lot of great things in this industry, and now they're on Raw, so I don't know what's next for them. We'll see, but solid match overall. We knew that was going to happen, and it was cool. One last thing, some of the spots were a little bit awkward. I think there was a miscommunication between the ref and some of the wrestlers in the ring. I don't know whose fault it was. I'm not going to sit here and say like I know whose fault it was. None of us do, so let's not try to act like we do, but miscommunications were a bit awkward. They got over it. The finish was good. I just feel like the spacing in the ring was a bit off. They were always like too close to each other, or the ref was running into someone sometimes, or had to like run around people. It was an interesting match, but they showed out, and I think they made up for it, and it was just a few little spots, but overall solid match. GG's. Finally, Cody Rhodes defeats AJ Styles for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Another predictable match, but that's not to say that that took anything away from the match. It was a banger of a match. The crowd gave it their all. Their last hurrah. They were singing. The intros were crazy. The entrances were crazy. The crowd was going wild. The camera was literally shaking. It was an awesome moment, and the boys banged it out. Pause. The boys absolutely wrestled. Very cool. They did not let down in their first ever match. I thought it was great. One big thing that I was looking out for was if Cody was actually hurt, and he did not look hurt at all. He looked very solid in this performance. I do not see him dropping the belt or losing anytime soon. Cody looked incredible in this match. I'm glad it happened. I could see a world where they run it back again. I don't think I would mind that, so long as the story is better per se, because I like the story so far. It's just like a nice, like, you know, I versed your dad, this and that, but it hasn't had enough time. So if they can further that story, I'm down for this rivalry to continue to maybe another match. Spots were great. The boys wrestled. AJ Styles looks awesome. Dude, he's been doing this for so long, and he's still this good, and he can still deliver, and I think he proved a lot of people wrong. He does deserve to be in the title picture. He is the AJ freaking Styles, man. If you guys aren't familiar with AJ Styles outside of the WWE, you gotta check him out. I mean, the guy is incredible. He can do it all, and his catalog and his resume, his credibility is off the charts. AJ Styles is awesome. GG's on that match. And honestly, man, Backlash overall, like I mentioned, one of the greatest PLEs we've had in the last couple of years. This crowd, best of all time. I do not want to hear any objections to that. If you have an objection, go prove them wrong the next time they're in your city or state or country, because that was a beautiful thing to see, man. Truly an epic night for everybody involved, and for a 5-match card. Let's talk about this. For a 5-match card, they delivered. It did not feel like it was short. It felt like every match had enough time to really give each match its respect. The crowd was in it and on it for all of the matches. Would I have wanted more matches? For sure. Would I have wanted a John Cena potential segment because we thought we were going to get that? For sure. Would I have wanted Charlotte Flair to come out? For sure. The matches delivered, the segments were cool, and the crowd obviously was awesome. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about WWE Backlash. I think that was an amazing event. One we'll never forget. One we're going to compare crowds to for the rest of time, and I think they've set the bar high for a WWE, for a wrestling crowd. Backlash was awesome. Cannot wait for the next pay-per-view. WWE is on fire, dude. I love it.